Send us your text messages on any of the stories that we'll bring to you on 0549 986 996. 0549 986 997. Let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to government spokesperson and also the Minister of State in charge of government communication, because we understand that President John Dramani Mahama has decided to pardon the CEO or the acting CEO of the Gold Board following recent issues that came out with the sharing of dollar and the rest. Let's speak to Phyllis Kwachofosu on this matter. Phyllis, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Many will ask, how did the president arrive at this particular decision?
Well, the chief of staff is the one who handled the matter. Immediately after the matter broke out, he extended an invitation to Mr. Sami Jenfi to hear his side of the story, because it was important to hear him before any pronouncement could be made. He heard him, and Mr. Sami Jenfi provided his end of the story. He explained what transpired. The chief of staff also took into account the apology that Mr. Sami Jenfi himself issued, which then showed a certain level of contrition and acknowledgement that there was a need to avoid such happenings. So, having apologized and having rendered his side of the story, the chief of staff then briefed the president, and then it was determined that the apology should be followed with a caution to Mr. Sami Jenfi to ensure that such a development does not recur. And it is believed that these two are sufficient as remedies to the matter at hand. And that was the basis upon which this position was taken.
Felix, how do you react to people who say that this particular issue comes on the back of the launch of a code of conduct for all government appointees, where the president himself did the launching, and so the expectation was that the president was going to, announce some punishment on the back of these announcements or the launch of this particular code?
The first point is to be able to show that a specific part of the code of conduct has been breached. If that has happened, then any punishment should be commensurate with the offense. So those are the two things that must be considered. The first point is that there's really no specific provision in the code of conduct that covers giving gifts to people or giving something to someone. In this instance, Mr. Jenfi was seen giving some money to the lady in question. Now, does giving money to somebody constitutes a breach of the code of conduct? If you look into the code of conduct, nothing of the sort is in there. In any event, assuming that it was even a breach, the code of conduct itself spells out sanctions for any breach. One of the sanctions is the issuance of a public apology, and the second is a caution from the presidency. These two have actually been done in this particular instance. So the president believes that these suffices, even though you cannot point to a specific part of the code of conduct that has been breached. The public took offense, and on that basis, there was then the need to look into the matter. And the president believes that the work done by the chief of staff on the matter is sufficient, and that is why this position has been taken.
Will this not open the floodgate for other appointees to engage in similar acts or acts which are similar to these ones and just come and issue a public apology and the president will let go?
The first point is to show that if I give you money, does it constitute an offense? We need to determine that. Yes, there may be public anger against them, but you need to examine the event. So, for instance, I go to an event and I donate some money. Should I be punished for doing so? Or if you approached me with a specific request and I handed over some money to you, does that constitute an offense that should lead to stiff punishment? That is what must be looked at. Again, I'm not sure about how that leads to the opening of the floodgates. Again, we need to be cautious the way that we extend and stretch the matter. A caution in itself is a punishment. There are several things that you can do. If at home your child misconducts himself, you can pick up a cane in a setting and flog him. You can also caution him to desist from such behavior as a way of ensuring that he reforms. The president believes that in this particular instance, the apology, which is consistent with the sanctions regime in the code of conduct, and the caution by the chief of staff suffice when you relate it to the specific event that occurred.
The minority had earlier held a press conference in the course of the week and called on the president to really announce a stiffer punishment for Mr. Sami Gyamfi. And this particular announcement, they would then accuse the Mr. President of being someone who cannot punish his appointees.
Well, the minority is free to say whatever they want, except that we will subject what they say to scrutiny, bearing in mind their own abysmal and appalling record in government. I mean, the levels of impunity that they display there, free for all, and the tendency for the president to encourage such misconduct. I mean, these are a group of people who did not even take action against people who killed others during elections. There were stacks of theirs who invaded courts and ransacked the place. They went to Ayahuasca, West Wagon, shot at people, injured people. Nothing was done. So I'm not sure where the minority would get the moral authority from to even comment on this matter. But in this particular instance, specific action has been taken. The man has apologized. A public apology is part of the sanctions regime in the code of conduct. A caution which says don't do this again is also some form of punishment. And if the president did not take a serious view of the matter, he would not have occasioned these actions to be taken. So we believe that sufficient effort has gone into ensuring that this does not recur in the past.
If an appointee should apologize and the apology is accepted, and the same appointee repeats such act and also apologize, that one there will be sanction, or still let
again that this your question is a bit of a stretch. I don't see how, if you go and do the very thing that you were cautioned not to do, you can apologize and get away with it. That won't happen. A caution means that if you were to repeat it, stiffer sanctions would apply. That is what the caution actually is. So I do not see how the scenario you are narrating would occur in this particular instance.
Phyllis, thank you very much for your time. Phyllis Kwachu,
the pleasure is all mine.
Phyllis Kwachu is Minister of State in charge of government communication. Let's go to the other line and speak to Dr. Kabiru Mahama, who is the Member of Parliament for the Wale constituency. They held a press conference some days ago asking for, a stiffer punishment for Mr. Sami Gyamfi on the back of this particular issue. Now the president says go and say no more. Let's speak to Dr. Kabiru. Doug, you must be disappointed because your press conference says that the president should announce a stiffer punishment for Mr. Sami Gyamfi.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening to your cherished listeners. Clearly, the president has demonstrated that his code of conduct is a mere piece of paper, which, like most of that will possibly herald the remaining part of the Mr. President's tenure. Clearly, Mr. President has demonstrated that they only pick and choose as to who to punish, and the punishment they want to mete out to anyone. The president has clearly demonstrated that his laws are selective and will only bite the vulnerable. And if they are supposed powerful people within his government, they cannot bite. The president has actually demonstrated that we are having a lame duck of a president. And clearly, I am disappointed, the minority is disappointed that the president even cannot act on his own code of conduct. But that said, the president has a lean weight because apology, they say, is a remedy under the code of conduct for appointees. But apology is not a remedy for the breach of the Foreign Exchange Act, which clearly Mr. Sami Gyamfi has breached. So for that, it's not for the president. But remember, the president also swore an oath to protect the constitution and the laws of the country. The president cannot select Mr. Sami Gyamfi and protect Sami Gyamfi over the laws of the country. He cannot choose to defend Mr. Sami Gyamfi and put to the, if like, and leave the laws of the country to the wolves. And I think that the president's first and foremost responsibility is to respect, defend, and protect the constitution and the laws of the country, but not to protect any NDC functionary or, if you like, NDC supporter or any person who is supposed to be the darling boy of the president. And I think clearly the disappointment is not in the fact that the president has now assumed the role of a clearing agent, but the disappointment is in the fact that the president chose to jettison the laws of the country for Mr. Sami Gyamfi.
But then the gentleman in question has publicly apologized for this particular action, and the president feels that the apology is punishment enough, so there's no really any other course of action to take. And you think the public apology is not enough? Really, in the code of conduct, as the president mentioned, or as Phyllis mentioned earlier, there's no specific punishment for this particular action or act that he did in the viral video we've all seen.
So the code of conduct is not even a law, and I'll pardon the president on the code of conduct. And that is essentially why I think that the code of conduct is a mere paper. But you see, God has a way of testing the faith and integrity of men. That you come and announce to the whole world that you are a president people can trust, and that people should put their faith in you, and that you will not allow any appointee to go scot-free in the midst of opulence or demonstrating anything that brings the public office holder to disrepute or the country or the government into disrepute. The president has flexibility. The president has leeway to behave as he did in the case of the code of conduct. But the president has not got such leeway. Apology is not a remedy for the breach of the Foreign Exchange Act. And the president has breached the Foreign Exchange Act. Apology cannot be a solution. Then if apology were a solution, then they should allow Mr. Edu Bohin to apologize and go and see no more. The next person an armed robber robs on the highway and say, I'm sorry for my deed, they should allow him go. But that is not how to run a country. The country made laws for ourselves, and the punishment for a breach of those laws were stated. And I think that if I had committed those particular offenses, probably I should have been allowed because I'm ignorant of the law. But the person is a lawyer. What more do you want to see before you can think that a person has actually violated a law? Ignorant, it could be excused, though it's not excused under the law, but a person is not even ignorant. So our issue is not in the fact that Mr. Temi has given people money. And I want to reiterate that if he decides to give 1 million Ghana cedis to anyone he wishes, that is his money if it was not coming from public purse. But if he chose to give 1 naira, $1, 1 safer, £1, Swiss franc to any person, it's an offense under the law if the person doesn't have authorization to receive or to make payment for same. And that is our issue.
But Doc, are you not comparing apples to oranges? Because the Sami Jemfi issue is different from the armed robbery incident or the armed robbery scenario that you are given. Is it not comparing apples to oranges?
The common denominator is that they are offenses with penal consequences stated under the Criminal Code of Conduct and the respective statutes. That's the common denominator. There are different offenses, but they are common offenses that our law have so defined. And if the law defines an offense and the punishment, you can then choose to decide how you punish it different from the law. And that is the point I'm making, that the president is choosing to punish people according to his whims and caprices when the law specifies the punishment. And that is the reason why any penal consequences has accompanying it, or conduct has accompanied it, the punishment. Because the Constitution, Article 19, provides for same.
What punishment specifically are you talking about, Doc?
The Foreign Exchange Act says that for any breach, a person is liable for a prison term of no more than 18 months of imprisonment, or a fine not exceeding 700 penalty unit, or both. This is what the law says. So at the minimum, he could get part of the prison term, or at the minimum part of the fine, or both.
And you believe he's breached this particular act?
Clearly, read Section 3 of the Act and read it in conjunction with Subsection 4 of the Act. And if you lack clarity, go to Section 33 of the Act, interpretation. They will define what payment means, and it includes the making of gifts and donations.
But what next for you? Because looks like the president has cleared him. He's still, doing his job as CEO of the group.
Has cleared him, but that is not the end of the road. The minority would meet, the minority who I was representing in this press conference would deliberate the issue further. The criminal aspect or the breach of statute in aspect would be handled different. There is also an angle where a private member had already petitioned charge over supposed, if you like, abuse of office or inappropriate accumulation of wealth. That aspect is being dealt with. The minority will look at that as well. But you see, the MPP is not surprised. And then the goodwill, the way the president is using the goodwill, we are not surprised by that. But clearly, it's for the good people of Ghana to equally judge and to see that this is the kind of president we voted for, and that when it matters, this was a watershed moment for the president to act and to demonstrate that he would be the president for the whole republic. But he chose the NDC, chose the Mr. Temi Jemfi over the laws of the country, over the constitution of the country. But we shall advise ourselves accordingly.
Doc, thank you very much. Dr. Kabiru Mahama is the Member of Parliament for the Wali constituency. speaking to us that the news is that President John Dramani Mahama has pardoned Mr. Sami Gyamfi, the CEO or the acting CEO of the Gold Board. It comes on the back of recent, issue with the sharing or let's say gifting of, dollars to popular self-start evangelist, also known as Nana Grada. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Some messages that you have sent. Sami Gyamfi has shown remorse and further apologized. I thank President Mahama for pardoning him. It should not occur again. Akapo from Ahafomim says, the decision to pardon Sami Gyamfi after he showed great sense of remorse is in order. My only concern, however, is about how the president is going to deal with future similar occurrences. Alasan Alasan says, we the 57% of Ghanaians are okay with the president's decision. Sami, go and sin no more. The 38% talkative can go and bend the sea. We care less. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We go for a break. When we come back, we'll do more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Pepper powder, pepper jawo, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder. Abuna amonje krakra, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder. Jawo.
Hey, of course. You know we have been friends since childhood, and we always tell each other everything.
Oh, Cynthia, I know that, and that is why you are my best friend.
We even eat together, and I have spare keys to your room. I also know your phone password.
Cynthia, don't I also know your phone password?
Yes, so. But what about your Momo PIN?
Hey! No way.
Indeed, Akos. Your Momo PIN is your secret. Do not share your PIN for any reason or give your PIN to someone to send cash on your behalf. Debida, never give out your PIN or OTP as a means of claiming a so-called promotional prize won. Your PIN is like your toothbrush. It only belongs to you. Stay alert.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. I am Sami Wiafi. Fafa has some other stories.
The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry and trade associations have agreed to reduce the prices of finished goods over the next 2 months, provided the cedi maintains its recent gains against the US dollar and other major currencies. Following a meeting this afternoon, Minister for Trade Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare announced that the associations have committed to lowering prices in response to the local currency's appreciation. Speaking to journalists, the minister described the negotiations as fruitful and expressed optimism that the outcome will positively impact the economy.
Meeting has been very fruitful. It has been frank. We have stated that government does not have the power to control prices, but government has the power to negotiate with our stakeholders to ensure that traders, manufacturers, and consumers take advantage of an opportunity when it happens. I'm happy to inform you that the direct importers have agreed to reduce their prices, and some have already started that already. We've also heard from GUTA and AGI that it is good that the Citi has stabilized. They need a bit of time to let this reflect in their prices. It will happen gradually. The direct importers have started reducing their prices for the retailers, and this will be total when the old stock comes down. They are able to find an average from the new stock and the old stock, and prices will certainly go down. But this will be total in about 60 days. We hope that the Citi will keep doing well. We hope that all the indicators will even improve, and they are happy to let the general public and consumers take a benefit of the stabilized economy. Government has created an enabling environment for their businesses to thrive, and it is fair that they transfer part of the dividends to the customers, because we are all working together as a country so that the cost of living will reduce. I am happy that they have explained their bit to me and my team. We also explained ours to them, and this is the consensus.
You heard Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari. Meanwhile, the president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, impressed on the government the need to sustain the appreciation of the cedi, stressing that doing so will create the conditions for complete price relief over the next 2 months.
The business community also think about the consuming public. We depend on our customers, the consuming public, to survive as businesses. And there's no way we will not share any gains when we have it. When we have it, we will share with you. And so all that we have all talking about is sustainability and predictability. And that's a game. And so we thank you, and we are waiting upon the government also to do its bit by sustaining the currency, the gains. Yeah.
You had President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng.
Let's go into the phone line and speak to Apia Adomako Kusi, who is the West African Regional Director of CAS International. Good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Consumers may be happy, but then the other argument is that a 60-day period, not too long a time for us to see the reduction in the prices of these goods and services, sir. Hello, Mr. Kusi.
Yes, there's a noise at the background.
Is it better now? I can hear you loud and clear. Is it better now?
Okay, please, can you repeat the question again?
I'm asking that consumers may be happy with their period, the 60 days, but is it not too long a time to see a reduction?
Yes. Good evening, and good evening to your listeners. I think the 60 days that the government and the traders have agreed to is a bit generous for the businesses, but to the consumers, I don't think it is fair. This is because anytime prices go up, the cedi begins to fall badly. We can even see prices jumping 3 times in a day. And sometimes people even use predictive prices to predict and sell predictive price of the cedi to the dollar to sell their goods in the market. Now that the cedi has started to appreciate in value, I think it would be fair that the businesses should gradually start to reduce prices as the cedi appreciates, so that by the end of the 60th day, we should be able to get a full, benefit coming to consumers.
But then the argument from the traders is that, these are goods they purchase, And so they are using the current, or the old rate in purchasing these goods. And so these are old stock. So why don't we wait for the old stock to run out? And then after 60 days, there's a possibility that all this stock will not run out and the new stock will be in, and then the reduction can take place.
Yes, that is true. That there are genuinely some businesses that may be having old stocks and others that are clearing goods daily from the port. Now that we have agreed to the 60 days, what it means is that even those who will bring their goods to the market from the port tomorrow would also want to ride on the 60-day moratorium. So I think that beyond the 60 days, the ministry can also continue to use moratorium on the businesses for them to comply. These are not legally binding to tell anyone to reduce the prices of how he or she is selling his or her commodity in the market. But I think it's also fair that we also let the consumers also ride on the gains of the cedi against the dollar. And one way in addition to the 50 days that the minister said is that we can also allow Ghana Statistical Service to do price monitoring of goods from the port and add economic margins to it and start publishing indicative prices of common commodities in the market. One Statistical Service, for example, Statistical Service will take commodity like, let's say, a tin of milk. By calculating the cost build-up and adding overheads and profit margins, Statistical Service can say that, look, a carton of milk should be sold between, let's say, 120 cedis and 150 cedis. And so consumers can go to the market with this kind of indicative prices. And whenever the prices are listed higher than the indicative prices, that information would also be made available to the public. And that would, in the long run, bring more people into the market who want to sell these products. So in the long run, prices will be at the marginal cost. And so we want to see Ghana Statistical Service publishing indicative prices of goods that we consume in the market as a way to overcome the information asymmetry between consumers and the producers.
Can this ever be done in Ghana, seeing a reduction in prices? Can this ever happen in Ghana?
I think we've had it before, but generally in Ghana, it has been like forward ever, backwards never. Let me give you this example. In 2022, when the cedi began to face some adversities against the dollar, trucks started charging higher for delivery costs. When the price of fuel went down, they still stuck to the level at which they peg it at the height of the cedi's rules. So I think that Ghanaian businesses need to be fair to the consumers. That look, you don't make profits on high margins, but you make profits on volumes. Once we understand this concept, I think that we can get prices to fall down. And one way, in the past, we used to have GNTC, Ghana National Trading Corporation. If we were to have a government-run business like, let's say, ShopRite, for example, and the government, they are setting their price economically, and that government-run prices can be the benchmark for which businesses can price around. But of course, it is no longer possible to see government running business like the GNTC and others. So in absence of government running commercial enterprise, the best approach is for us letting Statistical Service to start publishing data to guide consumers when we go to the marketplaces.
Mr. Akuzi, finally, before I let you go, in 60 days, if we don't see this reduction, can government intervene?
Legally, government cannot intervene. We move away from the days of the control, and so, but there is we don't have competition law which addresses the issue of excessive pricing. If we were to have competition law in the country, then the competition commission or the competition authority can go under the excessive pricing to start to fine businesses for not reducing their prices because they are charging so excessively.
Zakuzi, thank you very much for your time. Apia Adomako Kisi is the West African Regional Director of Carting Center. Let's go to the other line and speak to Samuel Atuagri, who is the General Secretary of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Sami, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. The agreement with the Trade Ministry and the meeting you held today is that within 60 days we should see a reduction in prices. Is that going to be possible?
Yes, it is possible. If you look at the trend that it has taken off already, because the membership of FABAG, the Food and Beverage Association, who do a lot of imports on the rice and sugar and oil into the country, seeing the cedi being stabilized, automatically reduce their cost by 7%, and therefore the cedi also going down further is what they are contemplating, how much we should reduce. So within a matter of time, reduction will be done to reflect the proper cost of the imports. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much happening at the ports where it will trigger a complete reduction in everything that you sell, apart from relying on the reduction of the cedi. So gaining the strength, cedi gaining new strength. So moving forward, the reduction that has been done might not be and it might not take immediate effect. That is why we said by 60 days, by also having the cedi stabilized on that line, we're going to see a complete overhaul of the pricing cost, and then the structure in the market as it were of the price and goods and services will also remain on a downward trend. So we are hopeful that within that 60 days, which is even more than a number of days, some of them have started seeing the effect already. If you go to the market and do ask or do your own check, you'll see that some of the goods has come down marginally. It's going to go down further if the stability of the cedi is maintained. So the 60-day ultimatum that was given was that all present GOTA, AGI, Food and Beverage, the Automobile Dealers Association were saying that they should give them 60 days. But we are saying by 60 days, we are going to see a uniformity of pricing. Because what will happen is that those who will be reducing their prices will create a lot of competitive atmosphere in the market. And therefore, if your goods are still selling on a high price, you will be forced to reduce it to eliminate the suffering of the consumer.
But,
so
Mr. Agri, I'm sorry to cut him, but then we live in a country where we've never seen or we don't see price reduction. At best, we see stability of prices instead of reduction. Can you assure myself and listeners that after the 60 days, which is the 2 months, we go to the market and really see a reduction in prices?
Yes, definitely yes. Definitely yes, because you see, day and day out, people are clearing goods at the ports. And today, those who are clearing their goods at the ports are clearing at 12 cedis, 13 cedis, 40% or 12 cedis, 50%. So as against the 16 cedis that people were clearing before. So if you clear your goods at that margin, then you realize that the price of the goods itself has come down based on the cedi that you use in clearing. So you have no basis to say I'm still going to cost at 16 cedis. Now, if the cedi stability is maintained and the value also is gained, then you will see that costing itself will come down because the unimaginable circumstance that people do factor into their costing by saying unforeseen circumstances. So therefore, let me adjust my price by maybe 5% or 6%. Should in case the city falls. Here is the case that the city is stable. It has also gained strength. So therefore, those calculations might not happen again. So if you are clearing your goods today and you are using the same dynamics, it could change and it has to change. So therefore, you see that if you put the goods in the market, two prices are going to befall a consumer. So you, the one holding on to the clearing of 16 cedis as against the clearing of 13 cedis, you have a variance of about 3 cedis. And therefore, if you put it into costing, that will give you almost about 7 or 8% reduction. So if you are not careful and you say, I'm going to maintain my old price, then what will happen is that you are going to create an atmosphere of unnecessary competition that will go against you. So therefore, consumers will also demand that as the city has dropped, you need also to go down, which the campaign has already started. We have also anchored it in several platforms. So we trust that importers will take that position and ensure that their prices come down so that the retailers can also reduce their margin as it's supposed to be. Their margin will remain the same, but the cost of the product will also, that is what we are looking at to reduce it. So it's a give and take affair. The retailer has no basis saying that the city is either depreciating, so therefore have to increase. It's only the importer that create that atmosphere of instability. So when there's a stability, then of course we have no qualms in saying that the city is going. As it's coming down, definitely the goods and services must also come down to compare with the pricing that will be for the consumer.
Mr. Agri, my final question: in the unlikely events that we see the depreciation of the cedi again within the 2 months period that we've given ourselves, and we see the dollar rise again, are we still going to have the reduction as you promised?
That will be marginal. That will be marginal. Then
hold on. A marginal decrease or a marginal?
Yeah, marginal decrease because importers or business people who use the dollar to do their import will then have to take a stand and say, let me wait and see how it's going to be like. Because we don't want to see a situation where in a day the cedi defaults maybe 2-3 times, and then you see when you go to the market, prices rises or the price of cost of goods changes almost 2 times in a day. We don't want to see that situation. So the most important thing that we must all trust and believe that the cedi will be maintained. If it's not falling again, it's not appreciating again, even at 12 cedis where it's supposed to be, then the pricing reduction will still happen. But if it happens that today we are seeing 12 cedis 45%, tomorrow we are seeing 13 cedis, then you give the impression of not being confidence in the system. So therefore, you also take certain measures to safeguard your capital. But if there's stability, I'm sure all of us will call for that reduction, and we will call for it. This is what we have to do. So across the sectors where the pricing of fuel is also coming down, we want to see the cost of transportation also coming down in a way. The cost of spare parts also coming down in a way, so that we can also have the feel of the proper reduction of the cedi. And then the PRUC, they will also come in and ensure that the cost that they have been using in calculating the cost of the energy, they will as much as come early as possible to reduce that cost of using the 16 cedis in doing their determination of how the electricity cost should be. Because this is not helping industry.
Okay.
If it's going to help be like that, then what will happen is that the local industries are going to find it very difficult in reducing their prices, but the imports will certainly come down.
Okay.
So there are so many things that we need to consider to ensure that all sectors across the country in the business area are also able to accommodate and reduce marginally as it were. So across board, yes, we're going to see something happening within the next 60 days.
Okay, Samuel Atuagri, General Secretary of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Thank you very much for your time. Prof, you still have some related story in relation to reduction of prices, right?
Yes, still on the appreciation of the Citi, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, is forecasting a decline in fuel prices at the pumps in the next pricing window. According to COPEC, the anticipated reduction is attributed to the Citi's current performance. In an interview with Citi News, Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, suggested that fuel prices could be around 11 cedis or 12 cedis per litre in the next pricing window.
The market has responded clearly with some reductions at the pumps. We are, however, asking the BDs to ensure that they pass on the full effect of the reductions that we are seeing commensurate with the Citi performance. If you are moving from the 16 Ghana region to around 12.8, 12.9, the difference is significant, and we want to see the full strength of that reduction. Per the calculations we do have in-house, we do not think that by the next window, any OMC should be selling anything around 13 Ghana cedis a litre, as we see now. Between 12, 11 at this point would suffice, bearing in mind that taxes have not gone up. World market prices have equally been very, very encouraging. It's declined. And so if you add the Citi's net effect, we should see further reductions at the pump. And we would want to see something much more significant this time around.
You heard Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. Loco show. This advert is FDA approved.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Go me. At what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get Sumo, Rambo, and get Sumo Super. And the Polytank, we did Polytank. Papa no, Ankasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is still Eyewitness on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's do some more stories now. The presiding member for the Ablikman North Municipal Assembly, Ibrahim Sule, has condemned alleged acts of intimidation during the confirmation of the municipal chief executive. Musa Kalamu was confirmed after a renomination and second vote, but the process was reportedly marred by unlawful detention and pressure on assembly members. Speaking to Citi News, Ibrahim Sule criticized the process and called for respect for the autonomy of assembly members.
The boys that came with the nominee, it's not easy. They were pushing our assembly members, even at the initial stage when we came to the assembly. For us to get access to the assembly hall, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Even some of my members said they will leave the place. I told them no. We have to stay and then vote on the presidential nominee. The thing is, we are going to work with him. If someone that we are going to work with him and then don't have a very good relationship with him, then it's the municipal that are going to suffer. The electric, they are going to suffer because I have to call for GA for us to approve whatever we want to approve so that he can take action on those things that we approve for him to go and do it. And if we don't have a very good relationship with him, how can that happen?
Ibrahim Sule is therefore calling for a new confirmation process to legitimize the MCE.
The best thing is, if the president wants to renominate him again, he should write to us so that I'll convey another meeting and then we'll do the confirmation. If he is to get it, not to get it, then we'll do the confirmation. If this is to start and then we are to give him the nod, is that how he's going to run the municipal? And the things that they were saying, you see, and then some of our assembly members were attacked yesterday night. About 2 of them, they called to inform me. They were attacked yesterday night.
You are the presiding member for the Ablikman North Municipal Assembly, Ibrahim Sule. Now, the Ghana Gold Board, in collaboration with National Security, has arrested 3 Indian nationals allegedly involved in illegal gold trading, bringing the total number of foreigners arrested to 6. The operation, carried out in Enyinem in the eastern region, led to the retrieval of gold bars, stacks of cash and money counting machines. Speaking to the media, the head of public relations at the Ghana Gold Board, Prince Mika, said the suspects will be prosecuted. Away from that, the Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, has assured the public that repair works on the elevator and other amenities at the Kolebu maternity block are underway. He gave the assurance during a working visit to the facility following public complaints about its condition. Here's the Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, addressing the media.
You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Some text messages that have come in. Guta is asking us to wait for 60 days. Did they wait 60 days before skyrocketing prices when the dollar went up? I'm surprised the traders are... This coming, another one from Jones in La. And he says, I'm surprised traders are refusing to reduce prices. The Guta president should be ashamed of himself. In time past, they didn't even wait for dollar before reducing price, but because it's NDC government in power, so they are playing games. Some other text, this is Prof from Tema, and Prof says, let Ghanaians continue to give reasons why prices cannot reduce. The Nigerians are reducing theirs, and we will continue to buy from them. Wickedness is in our DNA. We always want excessive profits. And another one from Nakushi Lamte in Sakomono says, now God bless President Mahama for using his discretion. Using his discretion, Sami Jenfi should be careful the next time. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we will do business.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa Botufe. The details of our stories now. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has called for the speedy translation of ideas into executable strategies to accelerate digital finance across the continent. Speaking at the 3i Africa Policy Forum in Accra, Dr. Isiama stressed the importance of scaling digital assets and cross-border payment solutions as a means of deepening financial inclusion. According to the Governor, Africa must move beyond policy dialogues and focus on implementation that drives real impact for businesses.
Our purpose is not merely to reflect on that summit's outcomes, but to translate them into clear, executable strategies. The focus is implementation, and that is scaling fintechs, digital assets, and cross-border payment solutions to deepen financial inclusion and intra-African trade in alignment with the AFTA. Across the continent, the signs of progress are encouraging. Fintech is bridging access gaps, particularly for underserved and remote communities. Cross-border digital payments are gaining traction, promising to ease trade frictions and accelerate regional commerce. Regulatory sandboxes and innovation hubs are taking root, offering safe environments to test new technologies within the realities of our African continent.
Dr. Johnson Isiama is the Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Away from that, economist Professor Godfred Bokpin is urging the Bank of Ghana to prioritize the accumulation of reserves as a long-term strategy to stabilize the cedi potentially for up to 2 decades. According to Professor Bokpin, businesses are still pricing goods based on previous exchange rates when the dollar was higher. Speaking to Citi Business News, Professor Bokpin stressed that without sustained currency stability, it becomes difficult for businesses to forecast costs and maintain competitive pricing.
We've seen the cedi strengthening. Have we seen the Ghana reference rate also coming down drastically? And at the end of the day, how does this lend to local competitiveness, to produce locally and all of that? How does this support export diversification, export strategy, and all of that? So, to some extent, yes, we can say good tax to drive down the price. Remember, for how long? In economics, driving down price, it is not that easy because prices are downwardly sticky and upwardly pressable. So, to what extent can they drive down the price? We've seen this strengthening happening just in the last 3 weeks or so. Many of the traders probably imported at the beginning of the year at higher exchange rates, cleared it at higher exchange rates, and all of that. So I think instead of rushing to claim glory, let's build reserves that allow stability for long. I would prefer that the central bank will rather accumulate more reserves so that we can do the analysis and say that the next 10, 15, 20 years, there's enough reserves for the cedi to be stable, not people to take long-term positions in the economy.
Professor Godfred Bokpin is an economist. Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is urging government to accelerate efforts to reform the value-added tax VAT system in the country. This comes despite government's announcement that it has commenced a comprehensive review of its value-added tax regime to simplify the system and improve the business environment across the country. In an interview with Citi Business News, President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Stefan Miezan, noted that the current effective VAT rate of 21.9%, one of the highest in Africa, is still contributing to compliance difficulties and inefficiencies for businesses.
In the recent days, the Chamber has been able to meet the Finance Committee and people from IMF, all on the issue of the streamlining of the VAT. You know, the VAT is something that you, as businesses, you don't know where you fall in within. Some pay low, some pay high, some don't even know what category of VAT we fall in. And this is something that they promised that they want to streamline. So they've met with the Chamber and other business organizations, and we are looking for that it comes out. They streamline it and it comes out so that we know where we are going.
That was the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Stefan Miezan. The Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, is encouraging smallholder farm women and youth to form cooperatives to facilitate the efficient distribution of inputs under the government's Feed Ghana initiative. He noted that these cooperatives should be organized based on specific areas of production to ensure easier identification and targeted support. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, the minister announced that the registration process for these cooperatives will continue until the end of June this year.
I am therefore calling on all farmers, especially smallholder farmers, women, youth, and persons with disabilities, to take this opportunity seriously. Organize yourselves into farmer-based organizations and cooperatives in line with your crops, livestock, or value chain activities. Our district agricultural officers are ready to assist you with the process of registration, governance training, and linkage to support services. In the coming weeks, the ministry will roll out sensitization campaigns in all regions, engage traditional authorities, and work closely with metropolitan, municipal, and also assemblies, MMDAs, to ensure the smooth formation and formalization of farmer cooperatives across the country. Let us join hands, our colleagues from the media, let us join hands in this national effort to feed ourselves, create jobs, and build a resilient agricultural economy that works for all.
Eric Opoku is the Minister of Food and Agriculture. The National Insurance Commission is seeking to initiate discussions with the Chief Justice on the establishment of dedicated courts to fast-track the prosecution of insurance fraud cases. According to the Commission, the move is part of broader efforts to deter fraudulent claim practices within the industry and enhance regulatory enforcement. Speaking to Citi Business News on the sidelines of the launch of the 2025 Inclusive Insurance Innovation Challenge, Deputy Commissioner of the National Insurance Commission, Bernard Ohime-Ban, noted that improving judicial efficiency in handling insurance-related offences will help build trust and promote sector growth.
It's a crime to make a false claim, right? And as an industry, we take fraudulent claims very seriously. Some people have gone to jail for fraudulent claims. In fact, as part of the issues on our plate as the leadership of NIC, we want to go and have a conversation with the courts, the leadership of the courts, the Chief Justice, to see if we can establish a special court for trying insurance fraud and insurance-related crimes, so that people can see those who get involved in these crimes getting punished, and that we believe will deter people from going into the space. So it's a crime that you can go to jail for if you are found to engage in insurance fraud.
You heard the Deputy Commissioner of the National Insurance Commission, Bernard Ohime-Ban. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa. But up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check
account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more. EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
This is listening to Eyewitness News. Coming to you live from our studio here in Accra, and this is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Tonight, my guest on Point Blank is Isaac Boama Nyako. He's a member of parliament for the Efia constituency in the Western region, a first-time member of parliament in the country. He also serves on the Finance Committee of Parliament, as well as the Environment, Science and Technology House Committee and Special Committee of the House. We'll speak to him on a number of issues in his constituency and national. But before we start the interview, a statement is just coming in from Minister of State in charge of government communication, who's also the spokesperson to the President, Felix Kwakye Ofosu. And it says, committee probing petition against Chief Justice to begin hearing tomorrow. It says the committee set up by the President, John Dramani Mahama, to inquire into the 3 petitions filed against the Chief Justice will commence hearing tomorrow, Thursday, 15th May 2025. The 5-member committee, chaired by Justice Gabriel Scott Palmai of the Supreme Court, was set up by the President in accordance with Article 1466 of the 1992 Constitution and in consultation with the Council of State following the determination of a case against the Chief Justice. The committee will sit 3 times in a week and present their recommendations to the President upon completion of their work. And it's signed by Felix Kwakye Ofosu, MP, spokesperson to the President and Minister of State in charge of government communication. Honorable, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, my brother.
You are a lawyer, so let me start with you on this particular CJ matter. I know the minority has taken a position on this matter, but it looks like the process is still ongoing. You even held a demonstration on this particular issue. The committee begins hearing tomorrow, as issuing the statement by Felix Kwakye Ofosu. You still stand by this whole argument that this whole probe is politically motivated?
Thank you very much once again for having me, and a very good evening to your cherished listeners. Let me say good evening to the good people of Efia and Western region, under whose magnanimity I serve in Parliament. I'm very surprised that the government spokesperson will be coming out today to talk about the sitting of the committee. My checks, the last time the President suspended the Chief Justice was on the 22nd of April 2025, and that is close to about 3 weeks. And my question is, if the committee that has been set up would require more than 3 weeks to start sitting, why did we suspend the Chief Justice? So clearly, it's a case whereby you set up a committee. The committee, any committee that is set up, you expect the committee to go back to work. And then 3 weeks down the line, after the President has set up the committee, they didn't tell us that the committee was sitting in camera. They were putting in place their preparations before coming out to the public to hold whatever they want to do. And then 3 weeks later, you are telling us that the committee is coming to start sitting. So over the last 3 weeks, what were they doing? Was the government not ready to get the committee to work? Did they provide them with the necessary logistics?
They're still reviewing the petitions, brought
it's part of the work. It's part of the work. So if you tell us the committee is going to start work, it means for the past 3 weeks the committee had done nothing. if the committee is working doesn't mean you have to start public hearing or private hearing. Sitting means the committee is formally beginning their work, and that is the information we have. So I'm asking, why did the president suspend the Chief Justice over the last 3 weeks if the committee was not ready to work? And then secondly, you tell us that the committee should submit their reports after they have completed work. Which committee is set up without timelines? When you set up any committee, you give the committee timelines. You tell them to submit their reports in 2 weeks, or in 3 weeks, or in 1 month, or in 2 months. And then if the committee is unable to complete their work, they come back to you for extension of time. So if you are telling us that the president has given them the whole time, so if it takes the committee
I'm sure it will come.
Wait for 6 months.
I'm sure it will come with a timeline, but just that was not communicated
It should
in the
have been
statement.
communicated in the statement. Why wouldn't you tell Ghanaians the timeline? Why are you keeping the timelines to yourself? Have you ever had a committee set up with a timeline that is undisclosed?
This is a different committee. This is a special committee. And
what's special about the committee?
And this is probing a particular issue in respect of a petition, a petition against the Chief Justice.
Is this the first time we've gotten committees to probe serious matters?
A Chief Justice.
Of course, but you still have timelines for them. Before you even give the timeline, you would have engaged the chairperson and the committee to find out how many weeks they require to complete their work. So you don't sit by yourself and say, I'm giving you 3 weeks or 1 month. You would have engaged them behind closed doors and find out the volume of work, the number of witnesses they want to come on. Who told them that they are sitting 3 times a week? Isn't it the communication?
Yeah, it's the communication, yeah.
So if they are sitting 3 times a week, how many weeks are they sitting to complete the work? It should be known. So I believe this government is just fooling us, for lack of better word. I think it is just sinking into their plan of taking away the Chief Justice without much reason.
But they are using the legal process.
You have the power to use the legal process. Nobody is challenging the legal process. But my question and what I see is that posterity will judge all of us. The basis of this petition, who is convinced, like Sami Jemfi just did what he did. It went against the Currency Act. It went against the Code of Ethics. Now the president is telling us that he has accepted his apology for the wrong that Sami Jemfi himself has expressed apology for. The president has accepted. He said no further consequence will go to him.
But public apology is punishment.
So the Chief Justice matter. What is the substance in it that the president cannot look at it to say that this one, even if the Chief Justice erred in discretion or the Chief Justice did something wrong, it is not substantial. The issue is substance, the substantiality of the matter, that this matter is not substantial enough to merit the removal of the Chief Justice of the Republic.
Have you seen the petition yourself?
We've all read it, haven't you?
And you believe those ones? Because hold on, because the presidency has not publicly, displayed any of these petitions, and so we are all hearing what is on the social media.
They started talking about it. Government appointees, including Sami Jemfi, were part of the team that were
publicly the president who received the petition
nobody has publicly denied. Government has not publicly denied the information in the public space. These are talking about petitions and responses from the Chief Justice. Government received it, they have not denied it. The Chief Justice who sent his response has not denied it. We've been deliberating this in the public space for how many weeks now? And so we are going by what is before us. I don't think what we have before us is anything doctored. I believe that is the fact before us. That's why we have discussed it. When Ghana Bar Association met, it was based on this information that they took their decision. And so what I'm saying, and I'm asking you also as a journalist, is that if you read these things, since 1966, when Kwame Nkrumah left power, when he tried to remove the Chief Justice, never in the history of this country have we gone this low, whereby a president will exercise that power to remove the Chief Justice on such flimsy excuses. Go and check the past Chief Justices. Check the president himself. Isn't the president out of the jurisdiction for days without handing over to a vice president? Didn't we have the Speaker of Parliament absent in this country? President absent, Vice President absent, the Speaker of Parliament absent, with no sworn-in Chief Justice, and who was running this country? Are they not all constitutional breaches? Are they not issues that can lead to impeachment? This is a direct constitutional breach. And who has raised up an issue that the president should be impeached? So if you read all these matters, the Chief Justice travels with the husband, not a boyfriend, the husband. You buy ticket. Sami Jefi was making noise, and you buy a ticket, first class ticket for your children. Now you are dollarizing the economy. Now he doesn't spend cedis, he spends dollars. Chief Justice of the Republic, who has entitlement, go and look at his contract of employment.
Buying ticket for a husband with state funds.
What is wrong with that? When the president is traveling with the wife, who buys the ticket for the president's wife? When the president is traveling with his children,
you can't compare the president.
What are you talking about? Is it not part of their conditions of service? Even if it is not, I know it is part.
To travel with your spouse on the
not
ticket
every day.
Of the
you are
states.
entitled, of course. Even the Speaker of Parliament, when he travels, we have certain travels. The Speaker goes with the spouse, and the state bears it. The Vice President, when she's traveling, she has a husband. Over the years, when you travel with your wife, the state pays for it. Why would the Vice President travel? And then Mahama, when he was Vice President and he was traveling with Lodina, who was paying Lodina's bills? Was it from his pocket? So please, is this the reason why you remove a Chief Justice of a Republic? Are you serious as a country? Is this the basis? We are grappling with serious matters. Galamsey is killing us, and that is not your priority. Your priority is to remove Chief Justice. Go ahead and remove the Chief Justice. We are all in this country. We wake up one day and we find other reasons to remove others. I'm not saying that anytime there's a change of government, you should go after government appointees. But the precedent that this government is setting is dangerous.
It's accountability. You were in office, you need to account for your stewardship. You don't think that's what government is doing?
Everybody is supposed to be held accountable,
yeah,
my brother.
And exactly what they are doing.
If the Chief Justice has done anything, what are we calling for in Sami Jefi's case? It's not accountability. Why did he choose pardon? Apology. Why did he choose? It's one of the ways. He could reprimand. He could also suspend, and he could terminate. So you look at the gravity of the offense before you exert the needed punishment. So if you think that based on the issues that are before us, when you go into the consultation with Council of State, where you have the former Chief Justice dissenting in that decision, what makes you informed if you have a table of men and women discussing a matter concerning an individual, and somebody has served in that position? That person serves on your council and gives you counsel that's right. These are matters before us. There may be issues therein, but I have been in that position before. And if these are matters that we want to use to remove the Chief Justice, I don't think, because everybody will fall foul. I tell you, every day the president, I said it somewhere, that when I went to the stadium to watch Ghana Black Stars against Chad, where Ghana won 5-0, right? Recently at the Accra Sports Stadium. The son of the president is under the protection of national security. National security people came to the stadium protecting the children.
Did you see that?
I'm telling you. I said I'm at the VVIP lounge. I'm not talking about what somebody has said. I saw them. Is he a government official? I don't have a problem if there's a risk in protecting the son of the president. These are benefits that you can extend. After all, if the president's son is harmed, we are all supposed to be worried and affected. But if someone writes a petition to say that this person restored the security people around him, the president himself had the brother driving him from Accra to Keta.
Let's talk about Sami Jefi. You had raised some issues in respect of what has happened, and you said that we should have some training for government appointees. Today the president said he did no wrong. Go and sin no more. You don't think that's okay?
No, the president didn't say he did no wrong. The president in the
I mean, he says go and sin no more.
But let's establish the fact that he himself apologized for what he did. So it means he did some wrong. All right? The president accepts that he did wrong. But he's saying that he uses his apology as enough. He takes this apology as enough, and so he's saying go and sin no more, and sends a further warning to his appointees. We are in this country. I don't wish any appointee wrong, but you see, you see a grubber so if you are not say when it came to this one, you said pardon and apology is okay. When the second one comes, you see what the president.
Are you predicting another one will come?
Oh, but it will come plenty.
How do you know?
Area is a human institution. What are you talking about? It's a human institution. That is why every day when others were faltering, you don't rejoice in their fall. So I'm not rejoicing in his fall because I'm also human. But you have to be careful what you say when someone is. You have to be careful. And someone was asking, if Sami Jemfi was in opposition a year by this time, a year ago, and a government appointee Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's time had been seen bundling dollars and giving dollars away, and you were interviewing Sami Jemfi, what do you think he would say about this?
Away from Sami Jemfi, let's talk about your constituency. You are a first-time MP in the House. How's it been like for you?
Very interesting, a good learning curve for me. I am very grateful to the people of Effiang for honoring me. And then when we came to Parliament, of course, you need to learn the rules of the House, which is the standing orders. We had some capacity building training organized by the leadership of Parliament, and then we went straight to business. We've had a couple of statements from State of the Nation to the budget statements. We've had people issuing statements. I've had the benefit of asking 3 questions to the Minister for Roads and Highways concerning some deplorable roads in my constituency, around the Fiekuma number 9 area, CDH road, the traffic light at number 9 that was not working. The minister gave us certain responses or answers which indicates that by the middle of this year, around June, July, we should get some positive outcome of the questions. So in terms of the House, I think I've contributed on a number of subject matters on the floor of the House. And so whatever I need to do to support at the committee level, Finance Committee, I've been giving my input when it came to the Gold Board and then the amendments of the various acts. Coming from Ghana Revenue Authority over 22 years, at least when it came to tax matters on the floor, I give my input, I do it at the committee level, and so it's been amazing. Back home in the constituency, I always make sure I look back to them, I go back, I interact with them. I've done community engagement about 10 times in different locations since I came to Parliament. I've picked some inputs from them. I've tried to resolve problems that come across to me.
Talking about problems, someone just sent a message that in your constituency, there's huge unemployment, especially in the Zongo community.
Yes.
And in the lead up to the election, you promised jobs.
Yeah.
What are you doing about it, or what have you done about it?
Of course. So, unemployment, we don't have land to do mining, so you can't get galamsey. And we don't have land to do farming, so we can't do cuckoo. In fact, you don't have intercredit, we don't have the sea in my constituency, so we can't do fishing. So the only thing we have is our human resource, and the human resource are scattered around those doing their own skilled labor, those who are doing petty trading, and then those who complete school and want employment. I provided employment on my way as parliamentary candidate. I continue to do that. In the private sector, I engage many private enterprises and I offer opportunities for my constituent to get employment. I'm looking at the various opportunities that government is also introducing. Government talked about Ejuma concept. We talked about coders. We are looking for all of these opportunities. Have started,
but some people from your constituency have not benefited yet from it.
I don't think those projects have been rolled out.
Yeah, I mean the registration process and the
no, we're following it very closely. Recently, I engaged the GEA. They are rolling out some program for poultry, and then
the cocoa kitchen project
at all. So I've engaged the youth. I've given them the link to register. And so in my broader vision for the constituency, reducing unemployment is very key. I'm looking at building capacity of our youth to be able to take advantage of this and many more opportunities that come. I've taken advantage to engage various government institutions when they come to those who are in nursing and teacher training to be able to be partake in the recruitment when it comes into play. So it's been very interesting with education. For example, last week I was able to pay for the BEC mock for all the BEC students in my constituency. To prepare for it, I'm going to supply them with the mathematical sets to be able to write the examination.
I understand your opponent in the last election, Majid,
has
been appointed the MC for the area.
That's correct.
And is going to be is it going to be a challenge for you because your opponent now the MC, he has ambition of going to Parliament. You contested him the last time. How's it for you?
Not at all. We have our various responsibilities. My role as a member.
And you are supposed to work with him.
We closely. Have to. I've already made it clear to. We owe it to the good people of Ifean to work together and establish. He had his own vision for the people. I had my vision for the people. I got the opportunity to serve as a member of parliament. He has now gotten the opportunity to serve as the municipal chief executive. So if we collaborate, if we come together, which we do, I spoke to him last week in the constituency. We were supposed to meet. Unfortunately, I traveled out of town. We spoke on Monday before coming to Accra. Next week, when I get the opportunity to go back, we are going to meet. We are working together in terms of sanitation. When it rains, we have serious problems in the constituency. So I've tasked him as a MC to desilt. Today I had calls from the constituency that they have not started. I'm appealing to him, Honorable Majid Okugu, that you have to hit the ground running as we discussed. Let's get the drains desilted so that our people can have some peace when the rains fall. So we are going to work together for the betterment.
You are a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament. In recent time, we've seen the dollar-CD relationship. And from where you sit, you think government is managing things well for us to see what we are seeing?
I always say that what you are seeing is good, but it is not just the creature of this government. It is the foundation that was laid by the end of December. We all read the economic indicators when governments read the budget and IMF came to review. We had our own challenges in 2022, 2023, but by the end of 2024, the NPP government has stabilized the economy. The economy had been on a growth of over 5.7%.
But yet Ghanaians voted you out.
Oh, of course, yes. There are many other things that Ghanaians were unhappy about it. And so it's not just, if it was about growth of the economy, NDC left it at 3.7. We have left it at 5.7. The gold that NPP left at PMMC, 30.1 million tons. Now, NDC from January till date, they've been able to add only 1.7 tons onto it. But the reason why we are having this stability is because we've already had enough sufficient gold reserve. So all that PMMC had been buying from January and the gold board has been purchasing since April and May is what they are pushing into the economy to make sure that the city stabilizes. The concern is we should come up with pragmatic measures to sustain this thing. We've seen it before. So I'm happy that there's confidence in the city. I'm happy that business people are talking about getting it reflected on the market. Prices have to fall. And so government should look at it. We should be able to get more supply of dollars. And you can only do that based on the things that the NPP left off. We are not taking credit for it, that it is the doing of NPP. But the NDC also can only be gracious. And that's what I say. Governance is a continuum. You don't just say, we did it, when you know for a fact that there was a foundation, there was a fundamental that was right. And so you give credit where it is due, then we can also give credit where it's due. So I applaud the government. Atoforsen is doing well so far. Let's see what goes on from there.
I'm reliably informed that there's flooding in your constituency. You know, sometimes when it rains, especially a place called number 9 along the main drain. You had mentioned that you are hoping that the MC or the municipal assembly comes in to help you. In the meantime, what are you personally doing aside them also helping to address the plight of the people?
Yes, so I've been supporting some of the youth groups who do regular desilting in terms of supporting them with wheelbarrows, with shovels and the rest. I've donated some to some youth groups in Western Newsroom, amongst others. But the drains that we are talking about in Ifiekwa number 9 is one of the biggest drains that absorbs most of the water, and that is why you need either the excavator or the backhoe to do that thing. The backhoe and the trucks, MPP bought them under the drip, and so we have the machines there. In fact, I had concluded the engagement because then we didn't have an MC. So I engaged the regional minister, Honorable Nelson, and then the coordinating director of ECMA, Mr. Opoku. And so we drew the plan. The day we were supposed to start, which was Monday, indication came that the MC will be confirmed on Wednesday. So the discussion was that let's wait for the MC to be confirmed so that he can take office. Since he was confirmed 100%, we all supported him to be confirmed. We had one of the smoothest, less than 30 minutes, we had finished. So it means even the MPP so-called assemblyman gave him the mandate because we had to talk to get his endorsement. And so everything had been concluded. That was why last week I wanted to find out why we've not started the work. And the coordinator confirms that everything had been concluded. It was on the table of the MC awaiting approval. I have discussed with him, as I said, on Monday when he came back, but we couldn't meet because he was going for other meetings. But he assured me that this week, and I appealed to him that this week we should commence. Right after this program, I'm going to give him a call to find out how far we are in it. But any support, as they know, I've been doing this over the years. Any support that they require from me as the member of parliament, they can always count on me and I'll provide it.
Parliament resumes on the 27th of May, reliably informed, and you go back for your next sitting. What should constituents expect from you?
Oh, of course. I'm very clear. We're doing a two-pronged project. The first project is to seek to the development of my people. I have categorized my vision into 4 main areas. We're looking at education, we are looking at health, we are looking at employment, and we are looking at water and sanitation. Just before I came out, commissioned 2 boreholes last week. Before coming, one in Western Ukrum, one in Eastern Ukrum. I've rehabilitated or repaired another borehole because water is not flowing over the whole constituency. You hardly get Ghana Water Company. So I've already engaged also the
you have water in the constituency?
The water doesn't flow across Takra. You have difficulty in assessing pipeline water from Ghana Water. So I've had a meeting with the regional director. He assured me that they have commissioned one plant at the Abuasi area, and so in the coming months we should get water flowing. But until then, the only way I can support them is to support them with these boreholes, and that's why I've taken it upon myself to commission some of these things to support them. So we will continue to do the work we have promised, right from education, health, employment, and then in Parliament, of course, we are going to hold the government accountable. That's our job. We need to hold the government accountable, and I'm promising the government that we will not sleep. We want them to succeed.
The mighty minority,
the 88th Infantry Battalion. We're going to do our best, and we are doing this without malice. You see, at times people think when you are in the minority, all you do is to make noise. You want the government to feel. I don't think that is our approach this time. We want to be constructive. We want to support government business. So if you look at the last session, everything that we needed to do to support government in record time, we did it. And I know my leadership and Afenyo Makin and Anodom Prayer will continue to support this government when we go into the next parliament.
All right, thank you very much. Isaac Boama Nyako, he's the member of parliament for the Efia constituency in the Western region. My guest tonight on Point Blank on Eyewitness News, that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier I was here with Fafa Melody. The show produced by Kwabena Wilson, Beverly London, and Juliana Odame Osei. So we'll come your way again tomorrow. Good night.